Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. A lot of news has come out of the Jim Trussell fiasco of sanctions, and really is very, as an Ohio State fan, is very distraughting. It hurts, but and it's going to hurt me to say what I got to say here today, because what I'm going to say here today is going to satisfy everybody else who hates Ohio State football. Because I have reviewed the news conference, reviewed the emails. We got the actual copies of the emails right here. We have the actual copies. I will tell you why. Because of those emails, the 2-game suspension that Ohio State handed to Jim Trussell about, causing him to miss the Akron game and the Toledo game. That's not all that's coming to Ohio State. That's not all. And since that's not all, oh boy, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty what is about to happen over at Ohio State. And by the way, the Miami Heat, they lost another game. They have lost 5 straight. I get to laugh at them again. I'm going to have so much fun today. Alford Show, let's get it. Hello, everybody. Anthony Alford here. It's great to have you along here for another special edition of the Alford Show. Really, we're going on very close to our 1-year anniversary of the Alford Show. But we have bigger fish to fry. In case, as you have known, story is broken out since Monday by an unidentified source at Yahoo Sports. First off, you know about ESPN, you know about SI. Yahoo Sports? Really? And, of course, the news conference happened. The sanctions, as far as, there weren't really no sanctions. The Ohio State handed down a $250,000 fine to Jim Trussell and gave him a 2-game suspension. Oh, lady! A 2-game suspension. My goodness, we got Big Ten play. We got Nebraska coming into the conference. We got Miami. Oh my, we won't have Jim Trussell on the sideline. Yes, you will. You just won't have him on the sidelines when we're facing elite opponents such as Akron and Toledo. Golly, we should be. I bet you the NCAA is thinking, oh man, that is a tough suspension. Yeah, right. I have with me from Sports by Brooks and other CBS, or actually other stations, not CBS, but other stations in Columbus, actual copies of the emails between Jim Trussell and the Columbus tattoo parlor owner Edward Roth. Actual copies. And here are some of the highlights. And it's all, if you go to this link, go to Sports Bar, they have this. It's all really kind of in order of all the events that transpired. And really, you call Eddie. So basically, you get all the information about the email, all the info about the email, and basically, initially it was thought to be criminal activity, but here's when the email was first sent out to Coach Jim Tressel. This was Friday, April 2nd, 2010. Now, for those of you who think these are fakes, these were actually handed out at the news conference last night. So these are not fakes. This is confidential information. Friday, April 2nd. So we know, allegedly, we know that the day after April Fool's, head coach Jim Tressel got word stating, hey, this is from Eddie. A lot of my friends are in law enforcement. And then he talked about the two players, blank and blank. The names were not classified in this email. They were protected. But it says, when the federal government raided his house, when the federal government raided Eddie's house, and actually I correct myself, the email was from Tressel, and it was from, emails to Tressel, and it was from an unidentified individual with a close relationship to the Columbus Tattoo Parlor owner, Eddie. And it says, when the federal government raided his house yesterday, they seized $70,000 in cash and a lot of Ohio State's memorabilia, and including the championship rings that, by NCAA rules, you're not allowed to sell that. Now, I did say, and Trussel's response to this email was, thanks, blank, keeping the identification secret, I will get on it ASAP, as soon as possible. This was Friday, April 2nd, 2010. Now, I do agree the NCAA does have some dumb rules. And they have some dumb rules saying that you're not allowed to sell your even though it's from the university, you're not allowed to sell your stuff, which, if it's university owned, which makes, or given, which, to me, that's stupid. It makes no sense. It's one of the dumbest things ever. But when you step foot in the college, you know this. You know this. Jim Tressel, I will get on it ASAP. And two players turned out to actually be 5 or 6 of these players, including Terrell Pryor. So this is something, and all this came to a halt back in early June, and you see in here, it's kind of tough to see, you see the rings that ultimately were sold. 34 Big Ten championship rings. 7 national championship rings. These are not fake, ladies and gentlemen. These were actual emails. These are several emails that were handed down between a span of April and June of last year. And they were given to the media and to the press at the news conference yesterday. And just everything. And if you heard my program yesterday, you know why Jim Trussell basically stated, well, I didn't know who to go to or where to go. I did not know who to go to, even though I'm the head football coach of Ohio State. I didn't know where to go. So, yeah, when we come back, I will say some things that is going to crush me being an Old State fan, but there's going to be a lot more sanctions handed down besides a 2-game suspension to Akron and Toledo. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot more than just the opportunity to coach those 2 games. I'll tell you why that's the case, and we'll talk about the Heat. That'll be fun. They lost again. Yay. I'll tell you the problem. I'll tell you why it's not just the big 3. Is that really the entire complex of that team is going downhill. And I'll also express the ignorance of LeBron James. We'll get to that when we come back.